Leo, a lot of money, a funeral, and a wedding in 2025. Leo, do you feel it? Something familiar around you is beginning to shift in an unusual way, as if the universe is gently stirring the heartbeat you thought had always been steady. Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night, startled by a vague sense of unease you couldn't quite name? A gentle breeze brushes past, and suddenly, memories of someone from the past rush back in, someone you thought had long been buried in yesterday. A recurring dream keeps returning, like a message from another realm trying to reach you. Or maybe, as you sit in a space that once brought you comfort, you suddenly realize you're no longer the person you were yesterday. If you've felt any of these things, it may be because your soul, proud and resilient, is finally starting to align with the signals the universe has been whispering all along. And that whisper, it's not just a sign. 2025 won't let things stay the same. It's arriving as a sacred turning point in your destiny, opening 3 portals that only Leo, with your radiant light, noble heart, and fearless spirit, has the power to walk through. A sudden financial blessing will appear, not as random luck, but as a sacred acknowledgement from the universe for all you've given. A tearful goodbye will come, not to take something away, but to free you from the bonds that have held your soul for too long. And a silent love vow will return, like a lost piece of your spirit, coming back to heal you from the inside out. These 3 events are not separate. They move together like 3 points orbiting your karmic circle. A cycle meant only for you, Leo, the one who's spent years planting seeds of patience, loyalty, and kindness in silence, never needing to see them bloom right away. And if you choose to stay with me through the end of this journey, I'll help you uncover the deeper meaning behind each of these 3 portals, so you won't just live a good or stable life, but a full and magnificent one, a life that honors the very light you so freely gave to others, and maybe, just maybe, forgot to give to yourself. Are you ready to finally hear what the stars have been waiting for you to understand? If you are, then come with me through the first gateway. When money is no longer just something to save, to hold on to, or to give you a sense of stability, but becomes a mirror that tests every inner value you've built, the very values your Leo heart has spent a lifetime forging through fire and loyalty. That is when you begin stepping into the true realm of prosperity. You, Leo, the one who chooses silence over confrontation, sacrifice over expectation, who carries the weight, holds it all together, and stays in the background to make sure nothing falls apart, like a warrior of light without needing a title. But sometimes, in all that strength, you forget the most important truth. You too deserve love. You deserve support, and you deserve to receive abundance fully and freely without needing to justify it. That's why in 2025, the universe doesn't just want to bless you. It wants to challenge you. Are you willing to receive prosperity? Not just with your hands, but with the proud and courageous heart of a Leo? Are you willing to step out of your comfort zone? Not to take reckless risks, but to expand your soul, to receive, not because you've done enough, but simply because you are worthy? If you believe in the power of light, if you want to radiate positivity while receiving blessings from the universe and God, consider sending a super thanks of $5 to $50. Every contribution is a spark of light, supporting charity and helping us continue to share soul-stirring messages around the world. Thank you. Amen. Leothis isn't about how much money you're holding in your hands. It's about this question: have you allowed yourself to live in true abundance yet? You've spent your life helping others build their dreams, standing behind the curtain, clapping for someone else's success, but never stepping forward to receive the standing ovation meant for you. If the universe gave you a large sum of money tomorrow, what would be the first thing you'd do? Would you fix the roof on the old house? Help your loved ones? Or would you hide it, afraid that others would think you're greedy or materialistic? Have you ever felt guilty just for wanting something for yourself? A trip, a gift, a childhood dream still sleeping in the quiet corner of your heart? I want you to remember this deeply and clearly. You are worthy, not because you've endured enough, but because you've loved deeply, waited patiently, and given generously, even when nothing was given back. It's within that space where expectations don't exist that miracles begin to form, when you learn how to receive with gratitude, without guilt. When you realize that humility doesn't mean rejecting blessings, but honoring life's gifts as your way of saying, I am ready to live a full life. In 2025, your financial energy will expand significantly, thanks to a rare alignment with Jupiter, the planet of abundance, expansion, and divine blessing. That expansion might come through an unexpected investment opportunity, a sum of money from someone who once forgot you, a project you thought was long dead suddenly coming to life, or a deep transformation in how you see yourself. From being the one behind the scenes, you become the one seen, acknowledged, and celebrated, not for show, but because you finally allow yourself to rise into the light that was always meant for you. This isn't a moment for bragging. It's a sacred turning point within your soul, because only when you are full can you give without being depleted. Only when you release the fear of not having enough can you fully live out the sacred mission your Leo soul was born with: to love, to heal, to lead, and to inspire. But before you enter that new chapter, you must first walk through another door, a doorway of farewell, called loss. Don't be afraid. This is not an ending. It's a reverse miracle, a sacred release, a letting go of what you've held too tightly, because you once believed that letting go meant losing stability, a value you've always seen as essential for survival. Leo, are you ready to open that door? There are moments in life that silence us, not because there are no words, but because no words are big enough to carry the weight of the emotion. Loss is one of those moments. Do you remember the last time you lost someone important? Not because of fault, not because love faded, but simply because life split into two paths, one for the living and one for the departed. You stood there, silent. Not a word could escape, only your gaze and a heart clenched in pain. And then something strange happened. A breeze brushed the back of your neck. An old song played from nowhere. A familiar scent filled the room and squeezed your chest. And in that moment, you knew they never truly left. Their souls simply changed form, so they could always remain near you. Leah, strong, brave, grounded, but I know your heart is vast, generous, and full of radiant love. And when that heart is resourced, when it's truly supported, it becomes a torch, bright enough to light the way for an entire generation. Money is not the destination. Money is the vehicle that allows your light to reach farther, to touch more lives, and to revive hearts that have grown tired. But all of it will mean nothing if you continue to doubt your true worth. It's not about how much you have prime. It's about whether you believe you deserve to live in prosperity. Do you believe that the universe, God, or whatever sacred name you use, wants you to live in abundance? Not so you become arrogant, but so you become a vessel of love, light, and peace that this world so desperately needs. It's time to stop playing small, to stop shrinking yourself just to avoid being misunderstood or labeled as greedy. Leo, your heart knows its purpose, and the universe does too. So hold your head high, open your heart wide, and look in the mirror to say, boldly and truthfully, I am ready to live in prosperity. I don't have to live in lack to prove I am a good person. You've come so far. You've carried the weight silently, nurtured others, protected what's precious, even when your own heart was breaking inside. But now, a new chapter is arriving, one where you live in love, in light, and in the resources you've always deserved, so you can bring those long-hidden dreams in your chest to radiant life. Behind your strength and pride, beneath your bold eyes lies a deep, quiet sensitivity. With your intuitive connection to the universe, you are a bridge between this world and the next. You don't need to say much. You don't need to explain or defend. You simply know things others often overlook. And sometimes, Leo, you're the only living soul who can hear the whispers of those who have passed. You don't try to prove it. You don't preach it. You simply carry it, silently and sacredly, as a part of your soul, something that doesn't need to be understood or validated. Leo, have you ever felt a sudden cold breeze on a calm day, and then, just moments later, a warm sensation on your shoulder, like someone's invisible arms wrapping gently around you? Not to scare you, but to say, I'm still here. They're still here. Quiet, persistent, present in every step you take, in every hidden dream still tucked away in the deepest corners of your heart. Maybe they're waiting for you to forgive, or maybe they're waiting for you to forgive yourself. Perhaps you've blamed yourself for not saying one last I love you, for not being brave enough to say, I forgive you. Thank you for always being there. But souls don't carry resentment. They don't cling to words left unsaid. They remember only the way you loved them, in your soft eyes, in the quiet meals you made, in the small gestures no one else ever noticed. So, Leo, who is the one you never got to say goodbye to? If they could hear you now, what would you say? Don't wait for the perfect moment. Say it now. No witnesses, no ceremony. Just you and them. Because souls don't need ears to hear, only a heart that's honest enough to speak. And when you truly say the words, you'll feel something soft release in your chest, like a final knot finally untied. That's forgiveness. That's liberation. That's proof they never really left. They still exist, beyond the veil of life and death, beyond the limits of space and time. And so, a funeral is no longer just a goodbye soaked in tears. It becomes a sacred rite of release, a moment to close an old chapter, not in denial, but with deep gratitude, a doorway that lets you move forward, not carrying unnamed pain, but carrying the light of someone who has gone ahead, now woven into your path, forever and sacredly. If you're living with loss, Whether from yesterday or a faraway memory, it still leaves a mark. Silent, deep, sometimes cruel in its quiet. But remember this: grief isn't something you get over. It's something you walk through, one step at a time, with the faith that you are not alone. And you don't have to hold it all together just to meet others' expectations of strength. You just need to be honest with your tears, with the memories you haven't yet named, and with the smiles you've buried behind proud eyes. And then, when you stop resisting, something sweet will quietly arrive, like a loving promise the universe never forgot. And a new soul will enter your life, not to replace what was lost, but to continue the flow of love that once felt broken. Leo, are you ready for a soul wedding? No white dress, no rings, no church bells, just a quiet, sacred connection between two souls who lost each other across lifetimes, now meeting again at just the right time, when both understand love, heartbreak, and forgiveness. Someone will appear, without fanfare, without grand promises. They'll simply look at you and you'll know. Their eyes will feel like déjà vu for your soul. Soft, warm, like you've been held there before. You'll hear something, not with your ears but with your heart, as if a familiar voice from a memory you can't quite recall has returned. And this time love won't be like it was before. Not rushed, not romanticized, not soaked in pain. This will be a love that was once broken, once lost, now returned whole, deeper, wiser, because you've already walked through enough darkness to learn how to protect your own light. You no longer love out of fear of losing. You love to feel fully alive, no longer hiding behind armor, no longer asking permission to be yourself. I believe this is the gift the universe is preparing for Leo, because you never gave up. Even when your heart was exhausted and ready to fall, you still stood, still burned with the last spark of your light. And now, Leo, get ready. Not for a funeral, but for a quiet rebirth unfolding inside your heart. Because the truth is, you never truly lost anyone. You've simply been rediscovering the parts of your soul that once closed off in fear and are now ready to open again. And this time, you won't walk alone. Someone will walk with you, not to lead, not to control, but simply to walk beside you, in a rhythm of peace and mutual respect. And love has never been easy for Leo. It often comes only after you retreat in silence, carry everything alone, turn off all the lights, and close your heart. But because it arrives late, it also arrives with sacred precision, not to fill the emptiness, but to awaken a soul that's been sleeping behind walls built to protect itself. And now, that soul, your soul, is ready to love again. Not like before, not with resistance, not in fear of being hurt, but with a heart that understands the value of peace, the strength of gentleness, and the sacredness of truly being seen. And I once met a Leo woman in her 60s, a woman who had spent her life protecting stability, quietly carrying her family like a silent pillar, but had never truly lived for her own heart. And then, at the age most would call too late to begin again, she fell in love. For the first time in her life, she felt loved, not for what she gave, not for her silent sacrifices, but simply for being herself. No grand promises. No flashy bouquet. Just quiet dinners. A hand to hold as the evening settled in, and soft glances that said more than words ever could. She smiled and said, "I used to think love always came with responsibility, sometimes even burden. But I've realized when you love the right person at the right time, it's simply peace. And I believe that is the love the universe is preparing for Leo in 2025. Not a love to pull you out of your life, but a love to heal you, with simplicity and deep humanity. A sacred wedding, not starting with music or lights, but with one destined moment, when two souls who lost each other meet again, look into each other's eyes, and silently say, 'This time I won't leave. This time I'll stay. This time we'll finish the promise our souls once left undone.'" Leo, you don't need someone perfect. You just need someone brave enough to hold your hand, even when you're breaking down, and still gently say, "I'm here," because you've loved with a heart that's loyal and unwavering, with fire and light that never betray. And sometimes, you've offered the most sacred part of yourself to someone who wasn't yet ready to receive it. That made you question love. But the truth is, you weren't wrong for loving too much. You just met them at the wrong time. And in 2025, that timing has changed. And, with divine timing on your side, with Venus, the planet of love, shining right at the most sacred moment, a karmic doorway will open just for Leo. Not everyone will marry, but you'll meet someone, a familiar soul, someone your heart has known long before this life. You might not recognize them at first glance, but their eyes will bring you an unexplainable peace, like you've already lived an entire lifetime in that gaze. You won't need a reason. You won't need proof. Their presence will be enough for you to know, this time I'm not alone. And this love won't burn you like the wildfires that once made you retreat. It will steady you, let you breathe, let you be fully yourself, without needing to change to be loved, without needing to sacrifice to keep someone from leaving. They'll sit beside you on the days you go silent. No pressure, no fixing, just quietly staying sacredly, while you move through your own healing in your own time. They won't walk away when you're at your most fragile. Instead, they'll hold you as if your pain is the most sacred part of you. This is a love that doesn't require you to be strong all the time. It gives you permission to be soft, to be real, to stop performing, to stop guarding. Leo, believe me, there's a soul out there waiting to love you in a way that's quiet but deep, steady but full of grace, a match for your golden fire heart, strong yet so sensitive. And if, while hearing these words, a face or memory flashes through your heart, don't ignore it. Leave a sign, not for me, but for the universe. Whisper softly, "I am ready," because sacred love won't arrive while you still believe you have to carry the whole world on your back to be worthy of it. It only comes when you're brave enough to admit the gentle truth you've hidden behind your pride. I don't want to walk this road alone anymore. I need someone to walk beside me, not to fight your battles for you, but to live a gentler, softer, more shared life with you. And when you stop running from tenderness, when you stop feeling ashamed of being cared for, when you stop thinking you have to be strong to the point of exhaustion to deserve love. You'll realize real love doesn't live in a marriage certificate. It lives in the quietest moments. A single glance, a text on a stormy day, a silent hug that says everything. That kind of love will come, but only when you stop running from your own heart. But before that, there's one final threshold you must cross. And spiritual transformation. Not dramatic, not flashy, just a silent shift deep inside your soul, where you no longer love to be saved, but love to share the most beautiful parts of yourself with someone equally ready to offer the same. And you don't need love to hide your wounds. You need a love that walks beside you through the most ordinary days. No conditions, no spotlight, just two people existing, loving, softly. Leo, you don't have to be as strong as the world expects. You only need to be honest about what you feel, because sometimes courage doesn't look like standing tall. It looks like letting yourself fall and choosing to rise again, with nothing but truth in your heart. I've met many Leo souls standing at the edge of collapse, not because they were weak, but because they had been strong for far too long, with no one noticing. And the strange thing is, they didn't disappear. They were reborn, not in anger, but in deeper eyes, in silence that carried power, and in hearts no longer desperate to be perfect, but simply yearning to be themselves. And you've silenced your emotions just to keep the peace. You've sacrificed what you truly wanted just to fit into others' expectations. But one day, you looked in the mirror and no longer recognized the person staring back. And Leo, 2025 isn't just a number. It's a journey the universe has crafted just for you. A journey where you'll face 3 gates time once tried to bury. 1. Abundant wealth, not just as a reward for your persistence, but as a declaration that you deserve to live in prosperity. 2. A funeral, not just a sorrowful goodbye, but a sacred ritual of release, so you can step into a freer, more evolved version of yourself. 3. A wedding, not a loud celebration, but a sacred moment, when your soul finds healing and reconnection through a love written in the stars across lifetimes. And 3 gates, 3 miracles, 1 karmic cycle. None of it is random. All of it is for you, Leo, the one who once burned for others, and now it's time to burn for yourself. The universe has waited a long time for you. Now is the moment to open your heart, take the next step, and walk into the light you were born to carry. And are you truly ready to live fully? If so, let your heart whisper, gently, yet fiercely, to the universe, I am ready. Thank you, brave Leo, for walking with me through this luminous soul journey. If what you just heard touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel so you never miss another sacred message, destiny forecast, or soul awakening from the universe. Because your destiny financially, in love and in rebirth, is already in your own hands, and I truly cannot wait to witness where the universe will take you once you open your heart and fully step into the light you were born to carry. So rise, step forward, flow with the current of abundance, and let the divine energy of the universe guide you into a future as radiant as the proud heart of a Leo.